I'd like to call the City Council to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nina, would you please call the roll?
Councilperson Alvarez?
Here.
Councilperson Podgorski?
Here.
Councilperson Geisers?
Here.
Councilperson Clem? Councilperson Williams? Councilperson Gully?
Here.
Councilperson Zilli?
We have multiple minutes to be approved. Can we please just approve them all together?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes altogether.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Could we just, to clarify which ones those are, please?
Yes, I don't really have all of them with me. Nina,
I
would
can
you tell us
Sure.
what they are?
August 1st and then all of October's budgetary hearings. So October 21st, which was a special meeting, then October 3rd, 17th, and 24th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have communications all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Communications and correspondence and announcements from the mayor. At this time, we're going to be swearing in 3 new police officers. So if they would please come to the front with Chief Candiano. And any council members that would like to join us, please.
Yes, we're going to do them one at a time, so if I can have Ryan Duncan come up.
Please raise your right hand and say after me. Place your left hand on the Bible. I, Ryan S. Duncan,
I, Ryan S. Duncan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America
and the laws of the United States of America
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of Indiana,
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
execute the duties of my office
execute the duties of my office
as a member of the City of Portage Police Department
as a member of the City of Portage Police Department
to the best of my ability and according to the law.
to the best of my ability and according to the law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Look up, Ryan.
We're staging all this, stand by, but it'll look cool in a couple years from now. There we go. Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right. All right, Angel Sanchez, and any family you want to bring up.
I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America
and the laws of the United States of America
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of Indiana,
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
execute the duties of my office
execute the duties of my office
as a member of the City of Portage Police Department
as a member of the City of Portage Police Department
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and according to the law.
and according to the law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Extended long handshake number 2.
Chief.
Give it to me. All right. And Brent Kane, come on up.
I, Brant M. Kane,
I, Brandon M. Kane,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America
and the laws of the United States of America
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of Indiana,
and the Constitution and the laws of the state of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
execute the duties of my office
execute the duties of my office
as a member of the City of Portage Police Department
as a member of the City of Portage Police Department
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and according to the law,
and according to the law.
so help me God.
So help me God.
We'll do one if you guys want to take your own water up here. Mayor, if you don't mind if I could say something real quick. So congrats to the three of you. Super excited to have you. I know when I give my update to the council in a little bit, we'll be talking about staffing and stuff again, which we've been for a while. It continues to be a tough time to get people that want to do law enforcement. So super excited to have these three individuals. I think they're going to do a great job for us. One is we already have a family member on our department who actually will be retiring next year. So as one goes, another comes. And obviously, Mr. Kane there, keeping it in the family, with his family that came out. So really cool to see all the family that's here supporting them. For those of you that are in law enforcement families, you know this is a roller coaster ride of a career. There'll be times when they need you. So the support that you can give them is fantastic. So round of applause for the families. Appreciate you being here. And lastly, I'll say if you do not want to stick around for the exciting city business that is to come, we'll give you a couple minutes to exit before they get on with this thrilling information you're about to hear. So appreciate y'all for coming, though.
What's the other guy look like?
Thank you.
Captain Pritchard, would you please do the prayer for us, please? I think we need them.
Let's pray this evening. Father God, we come before you this evening and we give you thanks and praise for your mighty works. You are a loving and good and gracious God. Thank you for creating us and sustaining us day by day. Thank you for the way you have made us. You made us in your image. Father, we thank you for our city. Thank you for our elected officials, the businesses, the churches, the families, and the individuals that make our city great and unique. Father God, I pray for this city council meeting tonight. Father, I pray that you would give them wisdom, guidance, as they deliberate and go over the items set before them. May every decision be brought before you and be glorifying to you in your sight. Father, I pray for those in our city that protect and serve every day. Father, I pray that you will guide them, go with them, go before them, and protect them. Father, we pray for those that were just sworn in this evening that you will put a hedge of protection around them and their families. Father, they are what make our city great and keep us safe. And Father, we just ask that you continue to bless them, bless this meeting. In your name we pray. Amen.
Okay, I just have one more announcement. We do have a Christmas parade on December the 2nd. We're inviting everybody. If you have floats, the Kiwanis is the entity that is sponsoring the parade. So if you have a float and would like to add your float to that, please contact someone in the Kiwanis Club, or you can contact Chief Wilkening, who is also taking those applications. Hope to see everybody there. Clerk Treasurer, do you have a report?
Just that the 2024 budget was submitted to the DLGF. We're waiting on the 1782 notice from them. They have until December 15th to provide that to us with any changes that are required. And currently, the 2024 cash flows are being worked on. I'll have those finished by the end of the week to submit to the Indiana Bond Bank for the 2024 tax anticipation warrants.
Thank you. We have reports of standing committees. Do you have anything?
Nope, nothing from ordinance committee.
Okay, and Scott's not with us, so. Reports from city officials, we're going to start with our youth commission. Louis Smith.
Is this thing on? Oh. Good evening to each and every one of you. I'm Louis H. Smith II. I am the liaison on the Portage Youth Commission, and I'm going to go over the business from the previous month. There were two things that we did last month. First thing, I believe, is the Hounds at the Hollow event that we had in Founders Square. That is where we had a stand set up to perform a pet supply drive for the local animals and their owners who need assistance because they may not be financially sound. And the second thing we did in the previous month was the Light Up the Gourds event. And are there any questions?
No, thank you, Louis.
And things to look forward to. One thing I know of next month is the Christmas parade, which the Portage Youth Commission will be assisting in. We will be distributing goodie bags to everybody that is there. Are there any questions on that from anybody?
How was
You're
the
welcome.
turnout for the fundraiser?
The turnout for the fundraiser was good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Chief Candiano.
Hello again. Well, we started this thing off with a bang. I think we took 15 minutes of your time here, so I guess I'll try to keep this one short. So for October, our total incidents were 2,839. That brought us to 91.6 a day. So trending down, which is generally the case as the weather starts to turn. I think I mentioned last month our high was in July when we were running about 113 a day, so definitely down. However, our year-to-date total incidents are at 30,818, which seems pretty much on par with last year so far. So hiring and staffing, we obviously just hired the 3 officers that we swore in. Again, pretty excited to have them here. Try to get them into I think we have 2 scheduled to go to the academy in January, and then trying to find an academy for the 3rd. So this theme we've been talking about for, well, a year plus now with all these departments hiring. It's now we're starting to see it on the backside where the academy's overrun. You can't get everybody you need into the academy. So something we're having to work through. I believe the academy up here is running 2 classes. Is that right, Keith? 2 a year right now, and there's a ton of departments that are using that academy. So This last go-around, as I said, we weren't able to get everybody that we wanted in, but that's all the departments in the area are facing the same thing. So just another thing we're going to have to try to sort through. But so after these three, this leaves us with 3 current openings, and then we've got 3 additional openings that are going to pop up between now and January. So essentially, we've got 6 openings pretty much moving forward. We have 5 officers due to graduate the academy on Friday, so pretty excited about that. They've been there 15 or 16 weeks, so 2 of those are already released to solo patrol, so they will come back and go straight out on the road. The other 3 will return to various phases of training. So all that being said, we are, again, doing a hiring process. Currently in the middle of one right now. We've got 6 candidates left from the testing process of a week or so ago, so they're going into the next phases. And then we are also taking apps again, obviously realizing that we're going to have further openings going forward. So we're kind of, like I said, I've been saying, we're just in a continuous hiring phase. So, I just wanted to dig up some numbers to see, because it just seems like I said, we've just been hiring and hiring and hiring. So since 2020, when we took office, we've hired 25 new officers. It's a pretty big number. If you start doing the math and realize how young of a department we are. And then we've hired 14 of those since 2022. So we literally have been in just a continuous hiring. And we knew this was coming with all the retirements and different things, but we're coming out the back end of it now. But it's been a lot. So community engagement for the month of October. There's going to be a theme here. Most of these are Halloween themed. We did the Portage High School trunk or treat. We did Sunset Hill Farms trunk or treat. We did a couple of station tours, including a peer mentor program through the high school. It was pretty neat to have those individuals out. Halloween night itself, we had extra officers out handing out glow sticks. I believe we had an officer playing Halloween music through the PA as they drove through the neighborhoods. So the weather wasn't great, but we handed out all those glow sticks and seemed to have a lot of engagement with kids. So it seems like a lot of them just came out and made the best of it. So we also did some of the elementary school trunk or treats, and we did a Halloween party at Jones. And then I'll talk about this here in another second, but we also did a Halloween safety program for all the Portage Township School elementary buildings. So the only other thing I need to bring up as we go into next year, concern about vehicles again. With the different things that are happening in the auto industry, we're going to be in trouble again, probably looking for cars. We lost a car to a crash the other day. This is the 7th car we've lost to crashes over the last 2 years. And if my numbers are correct, we've received $67,000 in insurance payments for those cars, which obviously doesn't get it done. You've got a 3 or 4 year old car that's got a couple of years left in it for us, and now we're losing a car, and it's not getting replaced. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to look at, because we're kind of in some serious trouble moving into next year on our fleet. So I will note that I believe all of those crashes were found to not be our fault. So it's the casualty of putting on all those miles and doing all that driving daily. Sometimes this stuff happens. So, but we've had a bad string of luck with that. Last 2 things then. So I mentioned the Halloween safety program. So Officer Dave Wright, who we swore in not too long ago here, came from another police department as a lateral transfer to us. So he took it upon himself to create a Halloween safety program for the elementary schools. What he wanted to do was get in there and kind of do, tips as kids are out, trick-or-treating, just some different safety things, plus have some interaction with the kids. And the schools bought into it, and he took this thing and ran with it. So during the month of October, he visited every elementary school in the district, including the 2 in South Haven. And with his trusty sidekick, McGruff, a.k.a. Sergeant Rob Nichols, who, yes, wore that outfit for these presentations, they put on this program. So we had a couple other officers that volunteered, but it was mainly the 2 of them. So the program was extremely well received. Just another example of officers going above and beyond, serving the community in kind of non-traditional ways. So I just wanted to give them a shout out because that was pretty cool, and that was something that they kind of took upon themselves. And then the last thing, on a personal note, I may be out of town at the next council meeting, so maybe this isn't the place for it, but I just wanted to thank you all for a good 4 years of working with you as the police chief. I know we got a lot of stuff done. There was a lot of things that we've asked over the years. I truly believe our police department is in a better place than it was 4 years ago. To the mayor, thank you for giving me the opportunity. So I'm excited to see what comes next with the city. I think we got a good foundation. There's lots of good programs that we're looking to roll out and things, but just in case I don't make the next one again, I think that we've done a lot of good over the last 4 years, and just wanted to thank you all for that. So, anybody have any questions?
Mike, how's the social worker apps coming?
So we have them. We're going to schedule interviews. If I'm being candid, we kind of put it on pause a little bit as we were trying to shake through some things just to see where we were at. But we're getting there. Yeah. So we brought in some people to take a look at the apps with us that are already doing a similar job. Obviously, you want to get the subject matter experts in. So that kind of delayed us a little bit, but I just think it's important to make sure we get the right person, and so that we've just been kind of taking our time with it. But I would expect to really kick that into high gear. Well, next week's Thanksgiving, but probably in the next 2 weeks or so, I can get you guys some information on that. So again, super excited about that. I think it's going to be great for us. So anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Randy Reeder, where are you?
I got 3 things to say. Leaves, leaves, leaves. So I did email the council and you, Mayor, my report and everything. So I was just going to go over fast. Last year in 2022, it was unbelievable how fast we got through the city. Just 2 times. It was 34 working days, and we picked up 462 loads of leaves. So this year, right now, we're at 78, and we've just completed our first round. We're back into zone 1. I'm just asking the public is make sure your neighbors don't park in front of your leaf pile, because we do have to pass. We can't not waste time knocking on doors, wondering whose car that is. So we do have a communications letter, and we do document those type of situations. But that's about it. We are fast at it. We're going to be working like 10-hour days. So that's about it. We're going to pick up these leaves as fast as we can. It seems like every other call down at the street department, when's my leaves going to be picked up? But just be patient with us. We still do have a lot of leaves in the trees. I imagine a good 40% are still up in the canopy. So, but zone 1 and zone 2 is our largest zones. So it's going to take a few days to get through those. But hopefully I'm hoping by Thanksgiving we'll probably be in zone 3 or 4. So any questions?
So not to put your leaves in the street.
Yes, we do have residents that are putting leaves in the streets, and with rain, what happens is those leaves stop that flow of water. Sometimes those leaves are rushed down to the nearest storm drain, and it floods up an intersection. So we just avoid putting leaves in the curb line, put them right in the easement. So,
You can also mulch your leaves and leave them on the lawn.
yes. We do have a lot of residents coming down to the street department and bringing their leaves to us. So if residents want to do that, that is open. You just need to come down, prove that you either have a yard pass or come into the office, show that you got a Portage address and you're able to utilize services.
What are the hours for that?
Hours are from 7 to 3, Monday through Friday. Okay?
Are you open on Saturday at all now?
No,
Randy?
we are closed
Okay.
on Saturdays officially.
Okay.
And they also could take their leaves up to our compost site too. So that those hours are extended into December 12th, I think it is. But those hours are from 8 to 4, Monday through Saturday. So
How many leaf backs do you have going?
We have a total of 5 vacs. We have a 6th one that we keep for spare because they do break down, and then we swap them out, and the mechanics work on those issues, and they get them back up and running. So, but we do have a total of 6.
Just no snow, no
No
rain.
snow, we don't want snow. Nothing in the forecast for the next 3 weeks for snow, so we got some rain coming, so.
Thanks, Randy, for
All right.
I would
great
like to-
job.
Okay.
I'd like to say thank you, because I had a resident text me regarding a couple holes that they were concerned about, and I forwarded the message to you, and the very next day, the resident complimented. He was impressed how quick the holes were fixed, so thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Thanks, Randy. Tracy, do you have a report for us?
Good evening. The sanitary plant's doing very well. We're getting ready for winter. This weather's been great for us to be able to get everything ready. We've been having lots of meetings with our SRF loan closing on December 29th so that we can get our new clarifiers and our solar and the screen out at the plant, which we're very excited about. So there's been lots of meetings rolling into that, the closure of the SRF. I did take some operators and the lab technicians to a microscopy class. It was in Zionsville. Tony Gwimpf put on she was a microbiologist that put on the 2-day seminar. It was wonderful. She is brilliant. It was absolutely great. The guys learned a lot. We've been doing a lot with the bugs lately now. Before, we just kind of rolled with the plant and looked at the numbers and said, okay, we're doing good. Now we're looking at the bugs to see how young, how old, how healthy, everything we are. The guys are starting to understand it more, the science behind it. I also attended an IFA meeting that is required by SRF. And the main topic that's going on right now for wastewater and water is PFAS. So that's basically called a forever chemical. So it is in your plastics. It's in the fire suppressant foam. They're trying to eliminate it. It causes liver damage, cancer. And once it's in the landfill or back in the land, you can't get rid of it. So there is reverse osmosis that can get rid of it, that it doesn't totally get rid of it, but it breaks down the molecules to be able to transfer it to a different component. And what they're doing right now, what the water does is, because IDEM is starting to regulate it through water first, they get rid of it to sanitary. So once it starts getting regulated through us, which that's what IDEM's looking at now, we're going to have to treat it out of our stuff. Otherwise, it will not be able to go to landfill. It will not be able to go to land application like we do right now. It will be all hazardous waste. So we have to treat it out of ours, and it would be hazardous waste. So that the part that we treat it out. So the object is to try to get, what's good for Portage is Indiana American Water. We don't have our own water company, so it's not coming to us. But if we find an industry that's doing it, we have to regulate it through the industry. So it'll be a lot more pretreatment regulation to watch the industries and make sure they're not sending it to us and then us incurring the cost to dispose of it hazardous waste. Now, this is coming down the road. They haven't yet regulated it for us. IDEM hasn't. They're just now sampling drinking water and seeing how much they're seeing in that industry right now. The scary thing is the detection limit to test it. The other thing is there's like thousands of different PFAS molecules. They can only detect 26 right now. And the detection limit is 2 in a lab. So it's 2 parts per billion in the lab. They say health-wise, it affects you at 0.02 parts per million. So it's going to be a really hard thing to try to test for and to regulate. So IDEM's working really hard on that right now, and they are asking participation from different wastewater and water companies on this. So it's something coming in the future that we're going to have to watch. It may be a costly thing. They are giving grants and certain things to help your plant to eliminate it, to help let people know, to educate on this. So they are giving grants for that. So down the road, I'll be looking into that to see what we can do to help offset our costs on that. Is there any other questions?
We are safe now, right?
Yes, we are.
Thank
We're
you.
as safe as we can be right now. The problem is if we test for it, so if we test for it, then we have to report it. So we have to wait till IDEM requires us to test for it. So, any other questions?
So do you test that in your final sludge?
We will test it when it comes down the line. We will be testing it in the final sludge as well. It will be tested in everything, the water coming in, the water going out, the final sludge that comes off of our product. So we will be testing everything for it. It's something, the test is a little bit more difficult than what our lab ourselves can do because it's very high possibility of contamination. It's in your Sharpie markers. It's in your boots. So you can contaminate it very easily yourself. So you kind of want to keep it to the big labs that do this all the time to do the testing.
So Tracy, if we get to that point and we find it, does that mean that you won't be able to take that sludge onto the drying bed? It'll have to be
Correct?
hazardously disposed of immediately?
Correct, correct. So we have to hit it on the front end, because the only thing that we would be getting it from is possibly industries. So we would have to hit it on the front end, which would be pretreatment, which I take care of,
Right.
and I will be doing quarterly testing, adding that to my quarterly testing of the pretreatment, because I can do that, I can test without having to, we're not testing our stuff, so we don't have to report.
Right.
Now, it will let items see, they do see my reports from that, because I do a yearly report to them, and they will
Yeah.
see it, so they'll see which industries that they need to focus on more, because we're non-delegated. So by being non-delegated, that means item still makes the permits. Item still takes care of the regulatory part. So
Okay.
then they would start coming down on those industries.
And would we have to dispose of, would we have to take it somewhere to be disposed of?
If it
Or
came
is there
in-
a local company that handles that kind of hazardous material that would come and get it?
If it came into our plant, we would probably we would find someone, we would put it into like dumpsters, that kind of stuff, and find a company that would take it. But then we'd be paying hauling,
As I say, that's
All of
gonna come
that.
at a pretty high cost.
yes. So hopefully, everything's good. From the industries I know in Portage, I don't see an issue. I don't see us having an issue. With the steps from IDEM that they're taking to educate industries, educate everyone on this, it should be tremendously easier. We'll know way before. It's just something that they've been talking about for many years, and it's coming down the line now.
What is our percent of sludge that is land applied by farmers?
100%. We land apply everything. All of our sludge gets land applied. So we don't take anything to landfill. The only thing that goes to landfill on us is oil and grease that we take off the top.
And we've been able to open that to different farmers now, right? Because since the drying bed was
Yes.
expanded, it dries faster, and now it's,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
well, thank you for keeping up on that.
Oh. Well, we're ahead of it, though. We're ahead of it, I will say that. We're ahead of the game, I will say that.
Thanks, Tracy. That was very enlightening.
Thank you.
Not good news, but very enlightening. Thank you. Did I miss anybody? If not, we will move on to unfinished business. We have the first reading of ordinance 2316. Deb?
So if I could, real quick, Councilman Podgorski, so we have in front of you is, as you know, the ordinance for the annexation of the Carlson River Trust property. We've already had a public hearing on this. What we're here today to do is to contemplate the ordinance. You'll note from the draft ordinance I submitted that I left the designated zoning out. This is not a rezone, this is an initial zone, getting back to you, not the ordinance. I'm talking to you guys, not the audience. Okay. Can you guys hear me? All right. So, what I would like you to do when you contemplate this ordinance is to decide if you want to adopt it, what is the appropriate zoning that you would like to classify that. You will also note in your packet the memo from the Plan Commission, which came up with a suggestion of R1. It's a suggestion, as you know, from the last annexation. You're not bound by it, but certainly it's their recommendation for R1. My suggestion would be at this point to listen to the petitioner who is represented here today, what their plans are, and then you can contemplate your decision as for the appropriate zone. So if you would like, I think perhaps you should call the petitioner.
So you can come up and sit at this table here, there at the microphone, so that you can be heard on the live stream.
Are your televisions up and, or if I plug in, will your screens automatically turn on for any exhibits we have?
It should.
Okay.
My pleasure.
Well, I'll grab
I'll
it.
move.
No, I'll just grab that one.
Yeah, you can take my chair.
Z can help you.
That's fine.
Can help you with that if you have a problem.
That's great.
So why don't you gentlemen introduce yourself to the council and then jump right into the show.
Thank you. Good evening. We, first of all, want to thank you for your service to the citizens of Portage and to the city. Thank you for your time this evening, and thank you for moving this petition by Providence Real Estate Development along in the process and giving us this opportunity this evening. As the city's attorney has indicated to you, the council has held a public hearing on it. The Plan Commission recommended R1 zoning, and we're here tonight for the council to consider the annexation. This is a Carlson family property, a total of 120 acres approximately. 80 acres of it is already in the city limits. You know where the location is, Airport Road and just south of Ridge Road. This is the 38 acres, approximately 38 plus and minus some right away, that is immediately south of this 80 acres. So what we're trying to do, Providence Real Estate Development is purchasing all 120 acres from the Carlson Trust, which is the Carlson family. And we would like to be a part of this dynamic community by developing a subdivision. That's what Providence does. I know that's what other developers are doing in the city, so we'd like to add this 38 plus or minus acres to the city and accomplish that. So we've considered all the recommendations that we've heard along the way, and my client is fine with it being annexed under an R1 zoning. We want to make that clear. We will be back. We don't want to tell you that we're satisfied and we're going to accomplish it according to R1, but we intend to file another petition seeking additional approvals from the city. You know, obviously, you know, we have to get plat approval and the rest of it, but we're going to be back for zoning and plat approval, hopefully in one process that we'd like to do, plan development, to accomplish all the product that we think is necessary for the community. Because what we, Providence, like all the other builders do, is we try to build housing product that is tailored to the demands. We don't just build something and hope people show up. We build it according to what the feasibility studies show and what the citizens of Portage want, or the people that we want to draw to the city of Portage want in this area. So based on that, we intend to come back with a line of different housing product that serves various needs in the community, various different age groups. But we want to make sure that the city understands right now in our other communities throughout Northwest Indiana, the attached product that we're going to seek approval for. And here's the annexation. This is a survey. We have an annexation plat too that I can show you right here. Yeah, there's the plat of annexation that's coming up now on your screen. My client is selling units that are in the attached genre for approximately $290,000, but that's going to be a small portion of this future planned development. The single-family product, there's two types of single-family product that we're going to be proposing, and the average price on the smaller one is $340,000, and the larger one is $400,000. So this pricing is consistent with what's going on in our other subdivisions, and that's what we'd intend to do with this property. And of course, if people want more options, they'll be more expensive. The options that people pick right now are fairly significant. So along with that, we'd ask your consideration tonight to pass this annexation into the city of Portage for these 38 acres as a part of this overall plan that we propose to do for the 120 acres. And with me this evening is Doug Ians, which is the Land Development Director for Providence in Northwest Indiana. And also with me this evening, or I'm with them actually, is John Carroll, the CEO. So thanks for bringing me along, guys. And I'll turn it over to Doug right now. John.
Thank you, everyone. Again, Doug Ians with Providence Real Estate Development. Greg did a fabulous job of covering pretty much the basics of the project and what we're proposing. I will go ahead and slide to the actual site plan that we are currently playing with, concept as soon as it decides to focus up. So the plan does call for 325 units on 120 acres, which comes out to just under 2.7 units per acre. As Mr. Bauer stated, we're currently contemplating 3 different product types, 2 single-family detached products and a paired villa product. The smaller lot, single-family, and the paired villas are currently on the north half of the property, adjacent to the, I believe it's the Hatala property, which actually has frontage at the intersection of Route 6 and Airport Road. That came out of some meetings we'd had with staff, and with those uses better blended with some of the plans that were being contemplated at the time for the Hatala property. That's kind of how the plan has morphed to this point. And as we move forward, we'll continue to work closely with staff to make sure this blends in with other uses in the community. A little bit about Providence. We have been in Northwest Indiana and only Northwest Indiana since 2006. Primarily, the others started in Lake County, in Crown Point and Winfield, and continuing, fast forward 15 years or better, we're starting to expand our footprint out into Porter County, and excited to have an opportunity here in Portage. John, would you like to add anything to all that? Yeah, we're currently under contract for 40 lots in the Deer Creek neighborhood, which I think most of you are familiar with. So we are currently doing business in Portage and looking forward to building upon that. With that, I'll turn it over to the council. Thank you very much.
I suppose at this point, you can decide what zoning designation you would like to have in there. It sounds like both the Plan Commission and the petitioner are on the same sheet of music here with R1, so my suggestion would be slap in R1 into that blank I left for you and have at it. Now, this ordinance under the statute is a time-sensitive ordinance, so the statute calls for a specific timeline for you to adopt it. We're about there. So if you do entertain the notion of adopting this ordinance, I would strongly suggest a second reading tonight after suspending the rules. Otherwise, you'll be out of time.
Ferdinand, do you want to read it? Do you want to read it? You have to read the ordinance. We need to read it.
want to read
We
it into the
we need to
record.
read it.
Ordinance 2316, an ordinance of the City of Portage, Indiana, annexing adjacent and contiguous territory, being hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, as follows. Whereas the Common Council of the City of Portage is aware that certain property adjacent to or abutting the boundary of the City of Portage, specifically described in the attached Exhibit A, should be annexed, and has determined that it has a substantial and compelling interest in protecting health, safety, and property and welfare of the citizens and the area of the city affected by chronic, unlawful, or nuisance activity. Whereas the parcel is at least or in excess of 1/8 contiguous to the corporate boundary limits of the City of Portage, and be it and it hereby is ordained by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, as follows. Section 1, that the following described parcel real estate on the legal description is hereto attached and incorporated by reference on attached Exhibit A is hereby annexed to and declared part of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana. Section 2, that the parcel of real estate sought to be annexed will be assigned to City Council District 5 as a voting district in the City of Portage pursuant to II 36434 subsection G as amended. That the Section 3, that the zoning district classification of said parcel of real estate is hereby determined to be R1, and any annexation agreements and exhibits thereto shall be made part of this annexation ordinance. Section 4, be it further ordained at the municipal boundaries of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana, shall be, and the same are hereby declared to be extended so as to include all of the parcel of real estate herein described as part of the City of Portage, Porter County, Indiana. Section 5, that this ordinance shall take effect and be in full force and effect from and after its passage, promulgation, and adoption by the Common Council of the City of Portage, and publication in conformance with applicable law. Let the record show that the ordinance has been read in its entirety.
So we need a motion to suspend?
I will make a motion to deny or vote against the ordinance. I have a second by this council. Make a motion to adopt. Why somebody else?
So I think the next, since that was just first reading, I think your next appropriate action would be a motion to suspend the rules for second reading.
Motion to suspend.
Second.
We have motion and second to suspend. Nina, would you please call the roll?
Councilperson Alvarez?
Yes.
Councilperson Pogorski?
Yes.
Councilperson Geishers?
Yes.
Councilperson Gully?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
That's R1.
We have motion and second to adopt. Nina, would you please, is there any further discussion? If not, Nina, would you please call the roll?
Councilperson Alvarez?
No?
Councilperson Pogorski?
Yes.
Councilperson Geishers?
Yes.
Councilperson Gully?
Yes.
Does not pass. So it is also not denied. It's got to come back.
Okay. We have an approval of, we have a,
appreciate your
under
time.
new, bu- Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, everyone.
Under new business, we have resolution 23-07.
Resolution 23-07, resolution of the City of Portage Common Council, issuance of sanitary district bonds. Whereas the Board of Sanitary Commissioners of the Portage Sanitary District adopted a resolution on November 2nd, 2023, approving the issuance of its sanitary district bonds of 2023 to be completed with the year in which issued an appropriate series designation, if any, in the name of the city, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $16 million, payable semi-annually on April 1st and October 1st, over a period not to exceed 35 years after their date of issuance, to fund the cost of construction of additions and improvements to the sewage works as more fully set forth on Exhibit A to the bond resolution. And now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Portage, Indiana, that Section 1, the Common Council hereby approves the issuance of the bonds in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $16 million, payable semi-annually on April 1st and October 1st, over a period not to exceed 35 years after their date of issuance. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval by the mayor. Approved and adopted this 14th day of November 2023. Let the record reflect this has been read in its entirety. Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Is there any discussion? Dan, would you like to have any comment?
I do not.
Okay. If there's no discussion, Nina, would you please call the roll?
Councilperson Alvarez?
Yes?
Councilperson Pogorski?
Yes.
Councilperson Geishers?
Yes.
Councilperson Gully? Jesus.
Yes.
Okay, we have Faralloy Tax Abatement Resolution 23-08 and 09.
So if I may, Madam Mayor, really quickly, so what you're going to have in the next two items, technically four, are requests for tax abatement for both Faralloy and Amazon. You have in front of you a resolution for real estate abatement, as well as a separate resolution for personal property abatement. You'll notice that the real estate is 10 years, the personal property is 5, graduating down both respectively. We have Andy Miletta here that is knowledgeable of these tax abatement requests if you have questions regarding them, but that is what is in front of you today. So I would suggest that we take them one at a time.
Brian, can you read those?
We don't have to read every single one of them by word. You can certainly go through by title only, and we can just give a real quick description if you'd like. So why don't we start? We'll start with 2308.
Resolution number 23-08, whereas the Portage Common Council wishes to encourage.
8 and 9 is Amazon.
Yeah.
I
Where's the,
have 8 and 9 here as Fairlight.
I have it as Amazon.
On the paperwork, it's Amazon.
Remember, we had to change them today?
I have Fairways.
So why don't we just take on the Faralloy real estate abatement the clerk has designated with what resolution number? Start with 10.
all right, resolution number 23-10, whereas the Portage Common Council wishes to encourage and foster economic development within the city of Portage, and whereas the Common Council adopted ordinances and resolutions evidencing its desire to allow tax abatement benefits for businesses located within the previously designated economic development target area. And whereas Fenoy Corporation submitted its statement of benefits dated October 13th, 2023, therein requesting a 10-year tax abatement on real property improvements located at its business, namely $8 million expansion of their current facility. Now therefore, the Portage Common Council finds that the estimate of the cost of the redevelopment is reasonable for equipment of that type. The estimate of the number of individuals who will be employed and whose employment will be retained can reasonably be expected to result from the development. 3, the estimate of annual salaries of those individuals who will be employed and whose employment will be retained can reasonably be expected to result from the proposed redevelopment. 4, other benefits about which information was requested are benefits that which reasonably can be expected to result from the proposed redevelopment. The totality of the benefits to be derived from the proposed redevelopment is sufficient to justify the deduction sought by the applicant. The Portage Common Council therefore concludes that the statement of benefits submitted by Faralloy Corporation, the Portage Common Council should be and is hereby approved as follows: year 1, 100%, year 2, 90%, year 3, 80%, year 4, 70%, year 5, 60%, year 6, 50%, year 7, 40%, year 8, 30%, and year 9, 20%, year 10, 10%, year 11, and thereafter 0%. Let it be further resolved that the tax abatement in the amount as specified in section 30-6 of the City of Portage Municipal Code shall be paid by the property owner during each year in which the property owner's property is reduced by the tax abatement approved herein. Let the record reflect that this has been read in its entirety.
Motion to adopt.
If you want them to, it speaks for itself. It's only if you had questions, but it's kind of a standard tax abatement.
I'll second the motion.
our representatives from Faralloy here.
I just wanted to explain a little more of those other sort of things.
Do you mind giving us a little?
Good evening. I'm Mike Borzik with Faralloy Corporation. So we have two items in front of you this evening. So we're expanding two of our facilities. One is more of a facility expansion, roughly 55,000 square feet, and that'll allow us to do some additional coil storage. And then we also have a machinery upgrade and expansion as well. Basically, we have an old cut-to-length line. It's tired and it needs an upgrade. So both of these will allow us to process more steel, store more steel, be more efficient, and just help our business in general.
Thank you.
Well, we're certainly excited when businesses grow and expand, and hire more people.
Yeah, we've had a great history in Portage, 3 facilities, and we're growing. This is kind of our mothership here, and we're happy to be here.
A motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
If I may address 2311 real quick, so we can do it by title only. It's pretty much the same story, second verse, same as the first, except for it's on personal property. It's a $5.8 million investment on new equipment, and it's a 5-year tax abatement, structuring down year 100%, 2, 80%, 3, 60%, 4, 40%, 5, 20%, year 6 thereafter, 0%. So it's the same type of abatement, and it's the same language as you encountered in the real estate with respect to why you're doing the abatement. And I think that's what you were talking about, right, was the
Yep.
equipment upgrade, the machinery?
Exactly.
So if you have questions, they're here. If not,
Good job explaining, so thank you.
So we need I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
So now we have the Amazon tax abatement.
so on this one, if I could, Councilwoman Podgorski, it's the same similar ideology as the last one. With respect to the real estate, again, it's 10 years, albeit it's a $35 million real estate investment. Same structuring down, graduated scale on the abatement, down from year 1 to year 10. So, someone here from Amazon?
From Amazon?
They were supposed to be here from out of state, so I don't know what happened.
So,
I can answer your questions.
yeah, do you have enough information?
I should, yeah.
So why don't you just briefly kind of talk, sort of a 100-mile-high view of what they're planning on doing and maybe the.
Yeah,
This
so
is new.
what Amazon's looking to do, this is a data center. So it's a little different than you're hearing a lot of communities they're putting warehouses up. This one's different. This is a very high-security facility. As you can see, there's, over $80 million investment. It's going to have some very serious equipment in there. It'll originally start with 10 jobs, 6-figure jobs will be created into this facility. I think the good thing about this, some of the places you hear other communities where they put up Amazon warehouses and then maybe they don't actually use them, the buildings sit empty. The investment in what they're doing here in Portage is very, very significant, and this is going to be here for a long time. So it's kind of an exciting project that they picked Portage for this. The location is right by Mariplex, right in that complex. And again, significant investment. Obviously, Amazon's a great company, and
Amazon business you speak of, is it pretty established?
yeah, they're kind of newcomers in the e-commerce business. No, but so this is a great project. This has been in the works for, I'm thinking, about 4 years, maybe. I think right in the beginning of your term, I think, certainly Mayor, I think is when they first came to Portage. So it's been kind of been working toward this. So it's pretty exciting that we're nearing that finish line now.
And it is possible they can expand, right? Just a
It is possible,
little
and
bit
it's-
further? I mean, it's not a lot of land, but,
There's not a lot of land, but they can expand, and they've talked about that there is possibilities that in the future they can expand there.
No, you can do it by title only.
I'll do. So Resolution 23-08, that is the 10-year tax abatement for Amazon with the approximate of $35 million investment in their new building. Let us reflect, it's been read in its entirety. Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to add, I thank you, Mr. Mileta, for your input, and, unfortunately, there's no representatives from Amazon, but Amazon, by the nature of their establishment as one of the world's leading e-commerce companies, they can afford their own real estate taxes, so thank you.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay, for the record.
Nina, will you back up and do a roll call vote, please?
Councilperson Alvarez.
No.
Councilperson Pogorski.
Yes.
Councilperson Geisers.
Yes.
Councilperson Gully.
Yes.
So. Resolution 23-09, this is the 5-year tax abatement on the personal property for Amazon. Let the record reflect it's been read in its entirety. Motion to adopt.
Second.
And just to be clear on this one, it is a personal property tax abatement of approximately $52 million investment in IT equipment. And it's a 5-year structured down, much like the last one.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, Nina, please call the roll.
Councilperson Alvarez.
No.
Councilperson Pogorski.
Yes.
Councilperson Geisers.
Yes.
Councilperson Gully.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we have petitions and remonstrances and public input at this time. So if anybody would like to address the council, please come forward and say your name and your address. You have 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Jenny Weber, and Mayor Lynch, Madam Clerk Treasurer Rivas, and the Portage City Council, thank you for having me tonight. I wanted to quickly thank the Portage Youth Commission because I am here representing the Humane Society of Hobart today, and I am their executive director. And I want to just once again thank you so much for all that you did for us, and you are truly an amazing bunch of individuals, and I'm really excited to see where you go next in the future. Thank you. Also, Mayor Lynch, I do want to say on behalf of Hobart Humane Society that we really appreciate your advocacy for pets and the support you've given us over the years. And you've been a really great attribute to our shelter, and I just want to thank you. You will be missed. I'm here visiting tonight because I've been sharing information with municipalities across Lake and Porter County about the alarming intake that we're seeing coming into our shelter. We have had a long history with Portage in the past. Our proximity on County Line Road, pretty much, we share a lot of oversight and overflow between what happens in pet families and field services. But we have been seeing an increase into our system that is quite alarming, not just from Portage, but from communities on either side of us. And for different reasons, locally, our intake is being driven, but we feel like that, as it is indicative across the state and across the country, that some of our current structures aren't able to handle the increase or the influx of animals. Right now, we stand at 74 animals that have come in from Portage this year, and although we work closely with Portage Animal Control, oftentimes they're unable to take those numbers or help those residents out. Hours of operation may be a factor, weekends, and our proximity does play a role as well. And we do a lot of work in Portage. We host a lot of vaccine events. We bring resources to the community, and we really love the representation that we provide Portage. So we enjoy working with you all, but we are taking in additionally 100 from Valparaiso this year, another 100 from Maryville on the other side of us. Crown Point is growing, and as those communities grow, their need for field services grow, and it's not sustainable for us. The number of animals coming in from outside of our jurisdiction is now over 1,200, which is close to a $300,000 loss for us. We're forecasted for a loss this year, and we're asking communities that do have animals come into our system to help us offset those costs. Currently, with the number of 74, you're looking at about $18,500 as a cost to us. However, we would put our adoption fee revenue into that category so that it would cut it in half, so we could share that responsibility for the financial costs that it's taken for the Humane Society of Hobart. I want to quickly add that I did send some correspondence, and I will keep in touch with you about the number that is coming in. I look forward to working with law enforcement as well as Madam Clerk to see if there is any relief that you may be able to provide Humane Society of Hobart. We currently have only a couple months operating funds left. We're hoping to see that 70th year next year, and we really need the support from the communities that we're working with. I want to finally end with two things. One is that intake is being driven right now by the lack of affordable, inclusive pet housing in communities across the country. Only 8% of landlords freely allowed pets without restrictions, and this is a real problem with pet families. And so as you're building and expanding properties in this community, thinking about those that accept pets and talking with your landlords is really important. Secondly, the economy. We have seen dog food and veterinary care go up more than 45% in some cases, and so it is just not affordable for pet families. Our most marginalized families right now are the ones that are losing their pets. And I know that Portage believes in creating humane communities, and certainly we don't want to backslide to see where pets are euthanized simply because they don't have a home. Finally, this is a public safety issue and also something our law enforcement should really pay attention to. These first calls to homes that animals are free roaming or they are outside, long hours, barking, causing a nuisance, something else is going on in that home. And so these are our first red flags that oftentimes law enforcement, because they're too busy, don't have properly training in animal field services, might gloss over or not catch. But this is truly indicative that if an animal is suffering in the home, 82% of that entire family unit is suffering in some way. I welcome any questions. I will send a follow-up email so that we can sit down and talk about this a little bit further. Again, thank you for your support. Thanks to Portage Animal Control. They do an amazing job. I just don't know that our agencies are all equipped to handle this single-handedly, but that we need a cooperative effort. Any questions?
Jenny, I know the shelter is, I've been in and out there a million times.
Yeah.
Is very small. Is
Yeah.
there ever any discussion about expanding the
Right.
shelter?
Thank you, Mayor. So when I came aboard in 2018, we were a very high-kill shelter. We only had a 62% live release rate, and we currently were operating at a $180,000 loss. We were able to get into a great place with a $22,000 gain in 2022. However, our rising costs and increased efforts have stalled our plans to move out of a building in which we're landlocked and crumbling. It is 70 years old, and it is literally single-handedly one of the main reasons why we're struggling so much, because it does cause disease outbreaks when we don't have proper pathways, proper quarantine, proper isolation units. And we are alongside law enforcement when they do have police raids and various instances, homicides, suicides, drug raids, anything involving pets. So we're subject to those animals coming in as well. Yep, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for all you
Yes,
do. I know
thank
you've
you.
done a wonderful job
you.
there, and
Thanks.
like I said, I'm in and out of there, and,
Yeah.
please stay in touch with us.
I will, and you definitely, we are so grateful for your support, Mayor, over the years. Thank you so much. I will be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you for your passion.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the council at this time? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.